Welcome back to Race Control in the Volvo Ocean Race headquarters. I'm Jenny Tulloch and it's day 9 of leg 4. The fleet's finally sailing into lighter breeze, which is bad news for Team Brunel as they're hitting it first. Their lead shrunk from almost 100 miles yesterday to only about 30 miles today. Meanwhile, the group behind is still quite tight. And the beginning of squally conditions brings uncertainty, the straight lines we've seen over the last week becoming wiggles. A cloud today benefited Alvimedica and Montfray to the south, while less than 12 miles away, Dongfang Racing suffered north of it, having to make 2 tacks in less wind. Team SCA is still further north, and we got some great questions from you guys overnight, especially about why it hasn't paid off as well for them as it did for Team Brunel. We'll let this brutally honest answer from Annie Lush explain more.
Yeah, so we just had another sked a few hours ago now, but I was on deck and yeah, unfortunately it's another disappointing sked. We're still slower than most of the fleet other than Brunel, and we're still 50 miles to windward of the fleet, and we were hoping that that gauge would, give us some extra wind and give us a better angle to get over the fleet, but this just hasn't been happening for us the last few days, and yeah, it's pretty frustrating. I was just driving the last 2 hours, and I think about half an hour of that was really good. It was the breeze we were expecting, but the other hour and a half was just winds really up and down, really shifty, really hard to drive to, and yeah, just not giving us the boat speeds we need to get around the rest of the fleet. So yeah, we just have to keep doing what we're doing and hoping that eventually we will get the breeze and they'll fall out of it. But at the moment, it's not working out how we planned. Yeah, I mean, I think we still have this windward gauge on the fleet, which we can use to help. That means we can sail a little bit lower and a little bit faster if we need to. So I think our goal is really to make sure we're definitely the same speed as the fleet. And if that means we need to use up some of that space we have, then that's okay, to make sure we're going the same speed. In front of the fleet at the moment, Brunel are going slower than everyone. So yeah, I'm hoping that the fleet are going to fall into that light wind too. And and it looks like at the moment on the grid files that we should get more wind and the fleet should fall into less, but we've been thinking that for a few days and that hasn't happened yet, so fingers crossed for the next sked.
Meanwhile, on board Brunel, the brain trust of Bauer and KP tell us what it'll be like to keep the lead and what it took for them to get there.
How to defend the lead in 3 steps. Keep going the right way, first of all, then stay in between the finish and your competitors, and keep sailing fast. So that's what we're trying to do right now, but we know there's less breeze what we're going to sail into. You can see it already the last 24 hours. They've been making substantial gains behind us, so I think they have to come within a couple of miles of us till we're in the same water, so it will be just coming all together again.
Do you have to have guts for a move like that?
You probably have to have guts for it, but I think that's just in general. I think we've shown that we believe in what we see, and up to now all the big moves have paid off, but it's not gutsy as such. The girls did exactly the same, but I think again it's more who was the chicken.
It's not a reckless gamble, it's a positive gamble, high odds of success. Can't have everyone just following each other like those other blokes. It's bloody boring down there.
We sailed 500 miles for only a 30 mile lead.
Yep. But even when it would have been a half a mile or 1 meter at the finish, that's all what it is about.
Is there a reason to smile?
No. No. No reason yet. Reason maybe in 2 weeks.
So we called KP on a phone call as they couldn't get their video running, and I was joined by our writer Agat, and we summed up some of your questions online, starting with when and why they cashed in their chips north to get south in front of the fleet.
It's not a matter of selling out or gambling or anything like that. It's just how you get the hook on the fastest from where we were.
Okay, fair enough. So you would have done it with or without the fleet there?
Correct.
Cool, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, hi KP, it's Agathe. Just wondering, now in the past 24 hours, the guys behind have come back on you guys quite a lot. Can you explain that? And do you think that's going to stop at some point?
Probably not, because that's inevitable with us sailing into lighter airs as we get towards the convergence zone. So that's just a fact of life. We're going to have to live with, and it's not going to get any prettier. It's not like the Atlantic Ocean where you pop out into very strong trade winds. That doesn't happen. So we just have to, again, just keep sailing the best way we can, and things are going to change.
Do you think your lead is big enough to be able to hold them off when you get into the doldrums?
I don't know. You know, I mean, obviously they're going to catch up. It's just a matter of how people position themselves for what they believe what's going to happen with the wind. You know, hanging on to this lead, you know, is going to be extremely difficult. You know, we've got 3,000 miles to go, not even halfway through the leg, so you know, getting the lead was easy compared to hanging on to it.
Like KP said, they still have 3,000 miles to go to Auckland. And with the squalls and the difficult doldrums coming up, it's almost anyone's guess as to who will come out ahead. But online, it looks like the virtual gamers of the Volvo Ocean Race are definitely coming ahead of the real-life boats into Auckland. Their southern route paying off by almost a couple days at this point. We'll let you know more about that and the Volvo Ocean Racers on Thursday in the next Inside Track.